The Google Dorm Room Sleep Story, A Small Circle of Light. Welcome. You have found your way here to this quiet place, and that is enough. Whatever the day held, whatever tomorrow might bring, none of it needs your attention now. You can set it down, all of it, like placing a bag gently by the door. You are here. You are resting. And a story is about to begin. Before we enter the room where our story lives, let's take a moment together. A moment just for you. Find a position that feels comfortable. It doesn't need to be perfect, just comfortable enough. Let your body settle into wherever you are, a bed, a pillow, a soft place that holds you, without asking anything in return. Now let's breathe together, just once slowly. Breathe in through your nose, gently filling your lungs like you're filling a glass with warm water. Slow and easy, no rush. Now pause. Just for a moment, let the breath rest inside you, quiet and full. And release. Let the air flow out through your mouth, soft and long, like a sigh you've been saving all day. Let it carry away anything you don't need to hold. Good. One more time if you like. A slow inhale, a soft pause, and a long, easy exhale. Your body knows how to do this. It has been breathing for you all along, asking nothing in return. Now gently let your attention drift to your face. You don't need to do anything, just notice. If there is tension in your forehead, imagine it softening, smoothing out like a wrinkle releasing from fabric. Your brow grows calm, heavy. Still, let your eyes rest behind closed lids. They have done so much seeing today, so much focusing. Now they can simply be soft, unfocused, at ease. Your jaw. Notice if it's clenched even slightly. Let it loosen. Let your lips part just a little if that feels right. Let the muscles around your mouth grow slack and warm. There is nothing you need to say right now. Nothing you need to hold in place with your face. You can simply soften. Let that softness spread to your shoulders, those patient shoulders, carrying so much without complaint. Let them drop. Let them release. Feel them growing heavy, sinking gently toward the surface beneath you. All this knowledge, all these ideas, suddenly accessible from anywhere in the world. But there was a problem. A gentle, frustrating problem. You couldn't find anything. Or rather, you could find too much. If you searched for a word, you got every page that contained that word. Thousands of pages. Tens of thousands. Dumped in front of you with no sense of which ones were actually useful. Which ones were trustworthy? Which ones would give you what you needed? Imagine walking into a library and asking for a book about stars. And the librarian, instead of guiding you to a good book, simply points to a pile. These all mention stars somewhere, they say. Good luck. That was the internet. That was the problem Larry and Sergey were quietly, patiently thinking about. Let the details soften at the edges. What matters is the feeling of the work. Two friends thinking together. The thing is, Sergei says, and his voice is soft, almost sleepy, people already know which pages are good. They just know. Larry nods. He reaches for his mug, lifts it, remembers it's empty, sets it back down. A small, absent gesture. They know because other people told them. Because the good pages get linked to, get referenced, get pointed at. Like citations, Sergei says, in academic papers, exactly like citations. This was the seed of the idea. The small, quiet seed that would eventually grow into something vast. But they didn't know that yet. They were just two graduate students, tired and curious, letting an idea develop at its own pace. If a web page was linked to by many other web pages, it was probably important. Probably useful. Probably worth showing to someone who was searching. It seems obvious now. But in those days, in that quiet dorm room, it was just a wondering, a hypothesis. Something to explore. Like a book returning gently to its shelf. Everything can settle now. Listen again to the sounds of the room. The fan humming. Constant. Faithful. A sound that asks nothing. Larry's fingers on the keys. Click. Click, click. Pause. He is writing code lines of instructions for the computer, but there is no urgency in it. Just the steady rhythm of thought, becoming text. Sergei shifts on the bed. The springs creak softly, a small song of metal and fabric. He yawns and doesn't bother to cover it. They are past formalities, these two. They have spent too many late nights together. Outside the window, the campus is silent. Not a single footstep. Not a single voice. Just the vast, soft quiet of a world at rest. And inside the room, the gentle sounds of work continue. Small and steady. Unhurried and warm, your breath knows its rhythm. Let it find its own pace, slow and easy. There is something restful about watching people collaborate this way. Not arguing, not rushing, not competing, just thinking together. Larry types. Sergei watches. Then Sergei speaks a thought, and Larry pauses to consider it. They are like two instruments playing a slow duet, each one leaving space for the other. Sometimes they sit in silence for long stretches. Not awkward silence, comfortable silence. The kind of silence that happens between people who don't need to fill every moment with words. In these silences, the fan hums. The cursor blinks. The night deepens. And the idea grows. Slowly. Quietly. Like a plant in good soil doing its work in the dark. You don't need to hold on to every word. The window is cracked open just an inch or two. Through that small gap, the night air enters. Cool air. Clean air. It carries the faint scent of eucalyptus from the trees outside. And something else. The mineral smell of damp earth, maybe from a sprinkler that ran earlier. The cool air meets the warmth of the room, and they mix gently the way two colors might blend at their edges. Larry can feel the coolness on his face, on his hands, when they rest away from the keyboard. It keeps him alert, but not sharply so, just gently present. If you like, you can imagine that cool air now. A soft stream of freshness entering wherever you are. Not cold, just cool. Refreshing. Kind. Let the details soften at the edges. The story can hold you without your effort. On the desk beside the keyboard, there is a mug. Larry reaches for it and wraps his fingers around its curve. The ceramic is still faintly warm, not hot, not cold, just that in-between temperature that feels like comfort itself. The mug has been sitting there for a while, its contents slowly cooling, slowly becoming part of the room's stillness. He lifts it to his lips, but doesn't drink, just holds it there for a moment, feeling the rim against his mouth, the gentle weight of the liquid inside. Then he sets it back down, and his hands return to the keys. Such small gestures, such ordinary moments, and yet in the quiet of a late night, they become something more. They become anchors, touchstones, little rituals of presence. On the bed, Sergei has found a blanket. He has pulled it over his legs, tucking it loosely around himself. The blanket is not particularly beautiful. A standard dorm blanket, slightly scratchy, a neutral color that might be gray or might be beige. But it holds warmth. That's what matters. He can feel the weight of it on his legs, the gentle pressure. It's like being held just a little, like the world saying, "You can rest now. You are contained." His hand rests on a stack of papers beside him. He isn't reading them, just touching them, feeling the edges smooth and crisp. The paper is cool beneath his fingertips. Each sheet is thin, almost fragile, and yet the stack has substance. Weight, the accumulated evidence of thinking. If you drift away, that's perfect. The room stays warm either way. Let's drift now, not far, just back. Into memory, into the soft, distant territory of childhood. Because before this room, before this desk, before this blinking cursor and humming fan, there were other rooms, other nights, other sensations that shaped the people who would one day sit here thinking about libraries and links and how to help people find things. For Larry, there was a house in Michigan, a house filled with things to touch. Computers, yes, his father was a professor of computer science, and there were always machines around. But also books, stacks and stacks of books, magazines about science and technology, papers with equations and diagrams. As a small child, Larry would sit on the floor and touch these things. Not always understanding them, he was too young to understand, but feeling them. The slick covers of magazines, the rough edges of well-read books, the satisfying click of a keyboard when he was finally tall enough to reach it. The house was warm in winter, heated against the Michigan cold. He remembers the feel of the carpet beneath him, soft and slightly worn. the radiator in the corner ticking gently as it heated, the way his mother's hand felt on his shoulder when she leaned down to see what he was doing. Let the names and numbers blur. What matters is the feeling. A child surrounded by curiosity. A home that valued questions. There were puzzles in that house. Physical puzzles, wooden blocks that fit together in certain ways. Number puzzles. Logic puzzles. Games that rewarded patient thinking. Larry would sit with these puzzles for hours. Not frustrated content. Turning the pieces in his hands, feeling their shapes, their edges. The satisfying moment when something clicked into place. This is where it began, perhaps. This quiet comfort with problems. This willingness to sit with something, to turn it over, to feel your way toward a solution without rushing. The puzzles didn't care how long he took. They just waited patient as stones until he found the answer. Like placing a book gently back on a shelf, everything can settle now. For Sergei, there was a different beginning, a different country even. He was born in Moscow, in Russia, in a small apartment where winter meant frost on the windows, and warmth was something you gathered close. His parents were both mathematicians, and the apartment was filled with the evidence of their work papers covered in symbols books, with spines cracked from reading the quiet scratch of pencils on paper. He remembers the feel of those Moscow winters, the way the cold seeped through the walls no matter how many blankets you piled on, the way his mother would wrap him in sweaters one over another until he was a small bundle of wool and warmth, and he remembers the feel of numbers. Not the idea of numbers, the feel of them, the satisfaction of a pattern completing itself, the pleasure of seeing how things connected. His father would sit with him and draw equations, not to teach necessarily, just to share, to show him the shapes that numbers made, the way they danced together orderly and beautiful. Your body knows how to rest. Your mind knows how to soften. You are doing so well. When Sergei was 6, his family left Russia. They came to America, to a new country, with new sounds and new sensations. He remembers the airplane, the strange pressure in his ears, the hum of engines, the scratchy fabric of the seat beneath him. He remembers looking out the window at clouds below, impossibly white, impossibly soft. And he remembers arriving, the different feel of American air, the different light, everything strange and new and waiting to be explored. They settled in Maryland, a house with a yard, trees that dropped leaves, and autumn leaves he could touch, could crunch beneath his feet. A school where he learned English slowly, word by word, feeling each new sound in his mouth. Through it all the numbers remained, the patterns, the puzzles. They were a language he already knew, a home he could carry with him anywhere. The story can carry itself now. You can rest. In both childhoods, in Michigan and in Moscow and in Maryland, there was something similar. A quiet respect for learning. A home where questions were welcome, where curiosity was not a distraction but a gift. Neither Larry nor Sergei was pushed. They were simply invited. Invited to wonder. Invited to explore. Invited to sit with problems and feel their way toward understanding. And somewhere in those early years, something was planted. A seed. The beginning of a way of being in the world. A belief that vast, confusing things, libraries of information, tangles of data webs of connection, could be made navigable, could be made gentle, could be made into something a person could walk through without getting lost. The great library, even then, was beginning to call to them. They just didn't know it yet. Let your jaw soften. Let your shoulders release. You are held by the surface beneath you, just as they were held by their small early worlds. Let's return to the dorm room. The night has deepened. The air through the window is cooler now, carrying the particular stillness of the hours past midnight. Larry can feel it on his face, a gentle reminder of the world outside this small warm circle. He adjusts his sweater again, pulling the sleeves down over his wrists. The fabric is soft against his skin, familiar as an old friend. On the desk, the mug has cooled completely now. He touches it with the back of his hand, room temperature, no longer a source of warmth. He should make more tea. He will, maybe. Later. Or maybe he'll just sit here a while longer in the quiet, in the comfort. Sergei has pulled the blanket higher up to his chest now. His eyes are half closed, but he's still listening if Larry speaks. Still present in his way. Just resting. Just being. The papers on the bed beside him are cool beneath his fingertips. Cool and smooth and still. Evidence of work done. Evidence of thinking happening. Evidence of something beginning to take shape. And something is beginning. Small experiments. Tiny tests. Lines of code written and rewritten, adjusted and refined. The first attempts to measure which pages on the internet point to which other pages. The first calculations of importance, of trust, of connection. They don't know yet what it will become. They don't know about the billions of searches the servers humming in vast buildings, the way their small idea will grow to touch nearly every life on the planet. For now, it's just this: a cool room, a warm sweater, a mug that has gone cold. Two friends thinking together, feeling their way forward. The first wins are coming. Small wins. Quiet wins. Experiments that work a little better than expected. Results that make them look at each other and smile. We'll find our way there gently in the next part of our story. The cool night air drifts through the cracked window, soft as a whisper. Larry wraps his hands around the cold mug, feeling its familiar weight. Sergei pulls the blanket closer, settling deeper into warmth. And in the stillness and the quiet, tactile comfort of this small room, the work waits patiently. The experiments wait. The tiny winds wait just ahead, ready to unfold whenever we're ready to meet them. The shape of stillness. The room holds its quiet. Not just the sounds, though those are soft, but the space itself. The shape of it. The way the walls contain a gentle emptiness, a pocket of calm in the vast sleeping campus. Let your attention settle into that feeling now, the sense of being held by a space. Wherever you are, there are walls or boundaries around you, and they are not confining, they are cradling. They mark out a small territory of safety, a container for rest. The dorm room is like that. Small, yes. Modest. But complete. Everything it needs to be is already here. The desk. The bed. The lamp casting its warm pool. The window letting in the cool night. The humming computer. The two figures quiet and still. Nothing is missing. Nothing needs to be added. The room is enough. Feel for a moment the spaciousness of late night. During the day, the world is full. Full of movement, full of sound, full of demands. But at this hour past midnight, edging toward the small hours, the world empties out. It becomes vast and still like a great hall after everyone has gone home. The campus outside is part of this emptiness. Buildings stand quiet, their windows dark. Paths stretch out, empty of footsteps. Trees hold their shapes against the sky, patient and unmoving. Problems were not obstacles. They were invitations to think more carefully. Sometimes the results were better. The list would appear, and the good pages, the helpful ones, the ones a person would actually want to find, would be near the top. And Larry and Sergey would nod quietly satisfied. A small win. A tiny click of progress. These wins didn't feel like victories. They felt like relief. Like a long exhale after holding your breath. Like setting down something heavy you'd been carrying. Your breath is doing its own quiet work. You don't need to guide it. There were breaks, of course. You cannot work all night without rest, without food, without stepping away from the glowing screen and remembering that you have a body. Sometimes late at night, Larry would stand and stretch. He would feel the stiffness in his back, the tightness in his shoulders. He would roll his head slowly, feeling the small crackles and releases. "I need food," he might say. "Me too," Sergey would agree, and they would leave the room. Step out into the hallway, which was dim and quiet. The overhead lights turned low for the night. Their footsteps would echo softly on the floor, not loud, just present. Evidence of movement in a still space. The campus at night was its own kind of beauty. They would walk to wherever food could be found. A vending machine, maybe, or a late-night convenience store at the edge of campus. The air was cool on their faces. The paths were empty. Street lamps cast pools of light at regular intervals, and they would walk from pool to pool, passing through darkness between. They didn't talk much on these walks. They were comfortable with silence, these two. They had spent enough hours together that words weren't always necessary. Sometimes they would look up at the sky. On clear nights, a few stars were visible even through the ambient light of the campus. Small points of brightness impossibly far away. A reminder of how large the universe was, and how small their work was within it. And yet the work mattered. It mattered in its small way. A library becoming easier to walk through. A tool that might help someone somewhere find what they were looking for. Let the names and numbers dissolve into simple patterns. The walk continues peaceful and slow. Back in the room, the work would resume. The computer had been running while they were gone, processing data, crunching numbers. The fan hummed its steady hum. The cursor blinked its patient blink. Larry would settle back into his chair, feeling its familiar shape. Sergei would find his spot on the bed, pulling his blanket close. They would look at the screen, see what the computer had done while they were away, and think about what to try next. The room held them. The space contained them. 4 walls, a ceiling, a floor, simple geometry, but enough. Enough to hold the work. Enough to hold the wondering. If you drift, that's perfect. The room stays still either way. As the weeks passed, the experiments grew stronger. The lists of pages became better, more sensible, more useful. When they typed in a question, the pages that appeared were increasingly the right pages, the ones a person would actually want to see. It was not magic. It was not genius. It was just patient work repeated many times, each repetition teaching them something new. They began to feel quietly that they might be onto something. Not something huge. Not something that would change the world. Just something useful. Something that might help. That was enough. That was more than enough. A helpful tool. A doorway into the endless shelves. The lamp casts its amber circle on the desk, steady and sure. The screen glows with its cooler light, the 2 colors blending at their edges. Shadows rest peacefully in the corners, soft as folded cloth. And in this small room, this first room, this origin, the light holds everything gently. The papers, the mug, the sleeping cursor, the quiet breath of 2 young people building something that will soon need to stretch beyond these walls to grow and change and meet the world. But for now, the light is enough. The stillness is enough. And the story glows on patient as a lamp left burning through the long, soft night. The hum beneath. Listen. Beneath everything, beneath the thoughts, beneath the story, beneath the quiet drift of your own breathing, there is a hum. In the dorm room, it comes from the computer. That steady, soft vibration of fans and circuits working quietly in the background. It has been there all along, so constant that it almost disappears. Like the sound of your own heartbeat. Like the whisper of blood in your ears. Let that sound settle into you now, not demanding attention, just present. A gentle bass line. A quiet companion. The hum is the sound of something working. Not straining, not struggling, just working. Doing its job, moment after moment, without complaint. The fan spins. The circuits process. The machine does what it was built to do. There is something deeply restful about this. A system that functions. A thing that works. No drama. No crisis. Just the steady, reliable hum of something doing its quiet work. Let the sound carry you. You don't need to hold on to anything. As Google grew, the hum grew with it. More computers meant more fans. More processing meant more gentle vibration. The single machine under Larry's desk became 2 machines, then 4, then more. They were stacked in borrowed spaces around campus, humming together in harmony. Each machine added its voice to the chorus. A low, soft drone that filled whatever room they occupied. The sound of work being done. The sound of questions being answered. The sound of the vast library becoming slowly easier to navigate. But growth brought challenges. Not dramatic challenges, not the kind that make for exciting stories. Just quiet challenges. The kind that appear when something starts to work well and more people want to use it. More users meant more questions flowing into Google every hour. More questions meant more strain on the humming machines. Sometimes they would slow down, struggling to keep up with the demand. Sometimes they would need to rest, to be repaired, to be replaced. Larry and Sergey learned to tend to these machines. Like gardeners tending plants, checking on them, adjusting them, making sure they had what they needed to keep humming along. If you drift, that's perfect. The hum continues either way. There were other challenges too, quieter ones. Subtler ones. The internet was not a tidy place. It was messy, chaotic, full of pages that were helpful, yes, but also full of pages that were not. Pages that were confusing. Pages that were misleading. Pages that existed only to trick people to waste their time, to clutter the vast library with noise. Some people learned to manipulate the system. They figured out ways to make their pages seem more important than they were. They stuffed their pages with words, hoping to appear in searches where they didn't belong. How the small lamp has multiplied into countless small glows scattered across the world. In a bedroom somewhere, a student is studying. It is later than she meant to stay up. But there is an exam tomorrow, and a concept she doesn't quite understand. Something about biology or history or mathematics. The details don't matter. What matters is the feeling, that small knot of confusion, that gentle frustration of not quite getting it. She reaches for her phone. The screen glows softly in the dark room, casting pale light on her face. She types a question, just a few words, a simple asking, and presses search. A moment passes. Then answers appear. Explanations. Diagrams. Different ways of understanding the things she was struggling with. She reads for a while. The knot loosens. The concept clicks into place not dramatically, just quietly. A small settling. A gentle relief. She sets the phone down and pulls the blanket higher. The room is cool, but she is warm beneath the covers. The exam will be fine. She can rest now. Question, search, answer, exhale, rest. If you drift, that's perfect. The story continues gently without you. In a kitchen somewhere, a man is cooking. It is evening, and he is trying to remember a recipe, something his grandmother used to make. He knows the basic ingredients, but the proportions have escaped him. How much flour? How long in the oven? What was that spice she always added? He wipes his hands on a towel, the fabric soft and worn from many washings, and picks up his tablet. The screen glows warmly like a window into a helpful place. He types the name of the dish. The search takes less than a second. There it is. Not his grandmother's exact recipe, perhaps, but something close. Close enough to bring back the memory. Close enough to fill the kitchen with a familiar smell, to make the evening feel like home. He sets the tablet aside and returns to his work. The kitchen is warm from the oven. Outside the window, the night is cool and dark. Inside, something good is taking shape. Question, search, answer, exhale, rest. Let your hands relax wherever they are. Let your fingers uncurl. They have done enough today. In a car somewhere, a woman is finding her way. She is driving through unfamiliar streets, looking for a place she has never been. The night is dark outside the windows, the road lit only by her headlights and the occasional street lamp. On her dashboard, a small screen glows, a map showing her exactly where she is and exactly where she needs to go. A calm voice tells her when to turn, when to continue straight when she is approaching her destination. She doesn't have to worry. She doesn't have to stop and ask for directions. Doesn't have to unfold a paper map under a dim dome light. The way is known. The path is clear. She follows the gentle guidance and soon she arrives. The place she was looking for found without stress, without confusion. Just a question asked and answered. A destination reached. She turns off the car. The engine quiets. The night is still around her, cool and peaceful. Question, search, answer, exhale, rest. The story can carry itself now. You don't need to hold on. In a living room somewhere, a child is curious. She has seen something on television, an animal she doesn't recognize, a place she has never heard of, a word she doesn't understand. The curiosity is small but persistent, a gentle itch in her mind. She finds a tablet and types her questions slowly, one letter at a time. The curiosity is satisfied. The itch is scratched. She sets the tablet down and returns to her evening. The small mystery solved the world a little more understandable than it was before. Her mother pulls a blanket over her soft fleece, warm from the dryer. The living room is cozy. the television murmuring in the background. Everything is calm. Question, search, answer, exhale, rest. Let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts grow soft and hazy. You are safe here. In a cafe somewhere, a traveler is translating. He is in a country where he does not speak the language. The menu in front of him is beautiful, but incomprehensible, full of words he cannot read. He wants to order something, but he doesn't know what anything is. He takes out his phone. The screen is warm in his hands, warm from his pocket, warm from the energy inside it. He opens an app and points the camera at the menu. Like magic, though it is not magic, just patient work accumulated over years. The words transform. The foreign script becomes his own language. The mystery becomes clarity. He can see what is offered, can choose what he wants, can participate in this small moment of human exchange. He orders. The food arrives. It is delicious or perhaps just adequate, but either way he is fed. He is cared for. The vast library of human knowledge reached out and helped him here, in this small cafe, in this unfamiliar city, on this cool evening far from home. Question, search, answer, exhale, rest. These moments happen constantly now. Every second of every day, somewhere in the world, someone is reaching out with a question. And somewhere in those humming server farms, in those buildings full of quiet machines, the question is received, considered, answered. Not perfectly, not always, but often enough. Helpfully enough. The vast library made a little easier to walk through. This is what the dorm room became. Not a company, not a brand, not a stock price or a headline. Just this countless small moments of someone needing something and finding it. Countless quiet rooms lit by soft screens where a question was asked and an answer appeared. The warmth of being helped. The comfort of not being lost. Like a blanket pulled gently higher. Everything can settle now. And now let's return. Back through the years. Back through the growth and the changes and the spread of the work across the world. Back to the small room where it started. The dorm room. The desk. The lamp. Feel the temperature of that room. The night air cool and clean, drifting through the cracked window. The warmth of the lamp radiating gently onto the papers below. The in-between temperature of the room itself, not cold, not hot, just comfortable, just right. Larry is here, wrapped in his soft sweater hands, occasionally touching the keyboard, occasionally wrapping around an empty mug. The ceramic is cool now, room temperature, but he holds it anyway. The familiar shape, the familiar weight. Sergey is here too, under his blanket, on the bed the scratchy fabric holding warmth against his legs. His eyes are closed, but he is not quite asleep. He is resting, drifting, present but peaceful. The room holds them both warm and cool, still and soft. Your body is heavy and warm. Your mind is quiet. You are exactly where you need to be. The cursor blinks on the screen, that patient rhythm, that tiny metronome. Outside, the campus sleeps. Inside, the work rests. Everything that would grow from this room, all the questions answered, all the moments of help, all the quiet rooms lit by soft screens, it all began here. In this temperature, in this comfort, in this small warm space, the vast library made easier to walk through, one question at a time, one gentle glow at a time. The cool night air whispers through the window, soft as a sigh. The lamp casts its amber warmth on the scattered papers. Larry's hands rest on the keyboard, still and relaxed. Sergei breathes slowly beneath his blanket chest, rising and falling in peaceful rhythm. The cursor blinks, 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 steady as a heartbeat, patient as the night. And in this room, this first room, this seed of everything the warmth holds, the comfort holds, the quiet holds, ready now for the gentlest of endings, ready for rest. Coming to rest. The room is still here. It has been here all along, waiting. The dorm room, the desk, the lamp, the quiet. We have traveled far through years, through growth, through countless small moments in quiet rooms around the world. But now we return, now we come home. The lamp glows softer now. Perhaps someone has dimmed it. Perhaps the bulb is simply tired, ready to rest like everything else. The circle of light on the desk has grown gentler, warmer, less a spotlight, and more a suggestion, a soft invitation towards sleep. The screen glows too, but faintly. The work is done for tonight. The code can wait. The questions can wait. Everything can wait. Let yourself settle into this stillness. There is nothing more to follow, nothing more to hold. Let's remember softly what this story held. A quiet room, a simple desk, two young people curious and patient, wondering how to help others find what they were looking for. Small experiments run late at night, tests and adjustments, lines of code appearing slowly on a glowing screen, the steady rhythm of work done without hurry. Growth gradual and gentle, more machines humming, more people helped. The vast library of the internet becoming step by step a little easier to walk through. And then, spreading outward like ripples on still water, countless moments of usefulness. A student understanding, a cook remembering, a traveler finding the way. Small questions, asked and answered small needs, met small pools of light in the darkness of not knowing. That is the story, simple and quiet. It needs nothing more. The story can carry itself now. You can let it go. And now let's turn toward rest. Not the story's rest yours, your body, your breath, your gentle, patient journey toward sleep. Begin with your feet. You don't need to do anything. Just notice them, the weight of them, the way they rest against the mattress or the blanket or the air. Let them grow heavy. Let them sink. Your feet have carried you through this day. They have done their work. Now they can be still. Let that heaviness drift upward into your calves. The muscles there, so often working, so often tensed, they can soften now. They can release. Feel them growing warm and loose, like butter slowly melting. like snow settling into stillness. Your knees, your thighs, let them rest. Let them be held by whatever is beneath you. There is nothing to do, nothing to fix, just softness, just weight, just ease. If your mind wanders, that's fine. Let it wander gently. It will find its way to rest. Your hips now, the bowl of your pelvis. So much is held here. Tension, effort, the work of keeping upright. Let it all release. Let your hips grow heavy against the bed. Let your body trust the surface that holds it. Your stomach, your chest. Feel your breath moving there, slow and easy. You don't need to change it. Just notice the gentle rise, the gentle fall, the rhythm that has been with you since your very first moment. In and out, in and out. Let the details blur. Let everything soften. You are held. Your shoulders now. They carry so much, these shoulders. Let them drop. Let them fall away from your ears. Let them spread wide and heavy, releasing into the mattress, releasing into rest. Your arms, heavy and warm. From your shoulders down through your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms. Let them sink. Let them be still. Your hands, those busy hands, always doing. Let them open slightly. Let the fingers uncurl. Let the palms grow soft, facing up or down, it doesn't matter. Just resting. Just being. Your neck. The back of your head against the pillow. Let the pillow hold you. Let it receive the weight of your head, the weight of all your thoughts. You don't need to think anymore tonight. The pillow can hold it all. Your jaw. Let it loosen. Let your lips part if they want to. Let the muscles around your mouth grow slack and peaceful. Your eyes behind closed lids. They have seen so much today. Now they can see nothing. Now they can rest in the soft darkness, the gentle dark, the kind dark that asks nothing of them. Your forehead, smooth and calm. Any lines of thought or worry, let them ease. Let your brow grow wide and peaceful. Let your whole face soften into stillness. You are quiet now. You are still. The story has done its work. It has carried you here to this moment, to this rest. Now it can fade. Now it can blur at the edges and drift away like a boat, moving slowly toward the horizon. The dorm room remains. The lamp glowing softly. The papers still on the desk. The fan humming its quiet hum. The cursor blinking. Blink, 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 blink. Larry is resting now, head tilted back in his chair, breathing slow and deep. Sergei is asleep on the bed blanket pulled. Close face, peaceful. The room holds them. The room holds you. Everything is quiet. Everything is still. The lamp glows, warm and soft. A small pool of light. In a vast, quiet world, the cursor blinks, patient, steady, like a heartbeat, like your heartbeat. Slowing now, resting now. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to think, nothing more to hold. Just this warmth, Just this stillness, just this breath, in, out, in, out, sleep. The lamp glows its final soft glow. The fan hums its final gentle hum. The cursor blinks once more and then is still. The room holds its peace. The night holds the room. And you are held too? Warm, safe, drifting now, resting now. Here in the stillness, here in the quiet, here. Good night.